Welcome back. I'm so sorry I cut you off early, but I kind of had to because I want this finale to fit in one episode. Yeah, okay, we've gone through this, Phoenix. Last one. What's the safe number? Maybe I'll get her to say the number of that safe. Huh? The safe? What? But I thought, Maya, you mind reading? Oh no, it's because I said it as the option, right, of course. Let's just try to get her to say anything, okay? Polly, what was the number of the safe in the shack? 1228! 1128! Squawk!
What a reckless parrot! Well, Mr. Wright, you aren't claiming that this number has something to do with the caretaker?
Actually, it does. That's why I had her say it.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous. What to get the one calmer voice back. Ridiculous. How can the number to a safe tell us who the caretaker is? Show us your proof. What could possibly link this number to the caretaker's true identity?
The DL6 case file. Let's see, it's in the case summary.
DL6 case file. What is that? What is this obsession you have with that case? Mr. Wright, where in this file is something relating to that safe number?
In the case summary. It's on the case summary page.
The case summary?
Specifically, the date on which the DL6 incident occurred.
The date of the incident, December 28th. Why, that's today's date, 15 years ago.
And the number on that safe is 1228.
Oh!
He used the date of the DL6 incident as the number for his safe, Your Honor. That's how important that date was to him.
I see, it certainly is an interesting coincidence. People often do set their secret numbers to dates. Bah! This is not tangible proof. I set my ATM card's number to 0001 because I'm number one. This has nothing to do with a date. Nothing. That's enough! I think we've reached a conclusion here. That this is a mere coincidence, that's all. True, that is a possibility. However, two coincidences at the same time seems more like a pattern to me. What are you saying? Summon the caretaker of the boat shop. Immediately. Yes. Summon.
You're going down, witness.
Witness. Tell us your name. Wait. This witness, he doesn't remember. No, it's okay.
Oh my God!
I've accomplished what I wanted to do. I'm done.
Nick, he looks totally different. This is the real Yogi, I think. Finally. He's been acting feeble to hide his true identity. Acting. For 15 years.
Well, let me ask you again. Please state your name for the court. My name is Yanni Yogi. 15 years ago I served as a bailiff in this very court. Order! Order! Yanni Yogi! So was it you who killed Robert Hammond and tried to frame Miles Edgeworth for his death? Yes, it was me. I did it. They put me on the witness stand 15 years ago. Robert Hammond said I was mentally unsound. He told me it would make me innocent, get me off the hook. So I pretended to have brain damage. I was innocent, really, but he didn't believe me. We won the trial, but I lost everything. I lost my job, my fiancée, my social standing. Then this year, 15 years later, a package arrived. It was a letter. and a pistol. The plan was written out in careful detail. It was a plan for me to take my revenge on people who ruined my life. I didn't care who had sent it. I thought this was my chance. After 15 years, this was it. Finally a chance to have revenge on Robert Hammond and Miles Edgeworth. I have no regrets. Wait a moment. Revenge? Against Miles Edgeworth? What do you mean? I'm not at liberty to speak on that matter. Why don't you ask Mr. Edgeworth yourself? Anyway, I admit it. I was the one who killed Robert Hammond. Wankama, where is Mr. Yogi?
Under arrest, Your Honor. I saw no room for error in his confession.
Then the defendant Miles Edgeworth is...
Innocent. In this case, at least.
Very well. Will the defendant please take the stand?
Come on, Edgy Poo.
There are a few mysteries left unsolved. Still, you are cleared of suspicion for this particular case. So I'd like to pass judgment on the murder of Mr. Robert Hammond. Any objections?
I don't believe it. Why isn't Von Karma saying anything?
Very well. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Miles Edgeworth,
Not guilty!
That is all. The court is adjourned.
God damn it.
Did someone just say objection?
It wasn't Von Karma. Wait, but that means... No. Edgeworth!
Your Honor, I object to your judgment. What do you mean? I'm not innocent at all. As we've heard, Yanni Yogi killed Robert Hammond in revenge. But revenge for what?
Nick! Edgeworth is trying to confess. He's going to say he's guilty. He's going to tell them he was the murderer in the DL6 incident. He's going to tell them he killed his own dad. Uh-oh, what do I do? It's a tricky one, Phoenix. It's just... Oh, this one's difficult. You've seriously got to think about this one, like, oh, what kind of choice could you possibly have, Phoenix? The judgment has already been passed. I object to Edgeworth's outburst.
Didn't something like this happen yesterday, too? Spat on the screen a little. I believe a certain witness raised an objection after a guilty verdict was passed.
That would be Larry.
We must hear this new statement. We must hear Miles Edgeworth.
He's right. We have a duty to hear Mr. Edgeworth out.
No, I like Cornered.
For 15 years, I've had a recurring dream. A nightmare. It's only a nightmare. That's what I told myself. But now I know it wasn't a dream. Yanni Yogi wasn't the killer. You mean in the incident where your father died? From the distance of the shot, it wasn't suicide either. Everything was as clear as day. The murderer, the criminal in the DL6 incident. It was me. Your Honor, I confess my guilt. I am guilty for DL6, the statute of limitations of which ends today. The culprit is me.
Oh, Edgeworth, god damn it! It's like, what, the third one? God damn it, Edgeworth!
Order! Order! This is certainly unexpected. The defendant declared innocent is confessing to a different crime. A crime for which the statute of limitations runs out today. I'm not really sure how I should deal with this.
Ma, it's obvious. We hold a trial right here, right now. We try this man for his crime of 15 years ago.
I think I would like to take a 5-minute recess. During this time, I will consider the appropriate course of action to take. Court is adjourned.
I probably should have ended last episode here, shouldn't I? Yeah, whatever. 7/28, 2:24 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2.
I'm sorry, Wright. I've just wasted all of your effort. Mr. Edgeworth, I just don't believe it, pal. I mean, you kill your dad? I didn't want to believe it myself, Detective, but it's the truth. I deserve to be punished. Murder is murder, no matter what the circumstances. This is crazy! Just crazy!
Nick, what are you doing? Huh? Oh, I was just reading through the court record once more. I'm getting my case ready. Your case? For what? Huh? Isn't it obvious? I'm going to prove that Miles Edgeworth is innocent.
What are you talking about, pal? He just admitted to it. He confessed that he did it in court.
I'm sorry, Edgeworth, but I don't believe your nightmare.
What?
It's just a dream. It's not real. The truth is right here in this court record. In any case, tighten your belts. The real fight is just beginning. I'll prove you're innocent. Trust me.
Right.
Don't worry, Edgy Poo, I've got your back.
Then I would like to resume our trial.
Judge, Miles Edgeworth has admitted his own guilt. He has confessed his crime. Let us begin by hearing his testimony. Then, though pointless, let the defense do their cross-examining. The statute of limitations on the DL6 incident runs out today. Though it's unconventional for me, I'd like to run this one by the book.
I see. Does the defense have any objections?
No, Your Honor. Von Karma, you knew this was going to happen from the very beginning, didn't you?
Very well. Will Miles Edgeworth take the stand?
Oh boy.
Will the witness state his name and profession? Miles Edgeworth. I'm a prosecuting attorney. Mr. Edgeworth, 15 years ago you mistakenly killed your father, Gregory Edgeworth. Is this correct? It is correct. Then testify about this matter to the court.
When Edgeworth was telling me about his dream yesterday, I noticed something. One detail didn't quite fit. That will be the key, but only if I can get it to work. Please, please. Witness testimony.
That day I'd gone to the courtroom to observe one of my father's trials. As we went to leave, an earthquake struck, trapping us in the elevator.
Spit on the screen again, goddammit.
My father and Mr. Yogi lost their composure and began to argue. Just then, something heavy fell at my feet. I picked it up and threw it at Mr. Yogi. I wanted them to stop fighting. A moment later, there was a single gunshot, then a scream. It was a terrible scream. I remember it to this day. That's all. Until now, you thought this memory was a dream? We were stuck in that elevator for 5 hours. The oxygen in the elevator ran out and I lost my memory of the events.
Bah, the same claim Mr. Yogi has made.
Very well. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please.
Yes, Your Honor. I think I've already got your contradiction, Edgeworth. But I'm not sure if I'm going to have to press it or not, so... As I've learned, don't go running ahead. Press. What was the trial your father was involved in on that day?
I don't remember things very clearly. Only 2 things. I know my father lost, and Mr. Von Karma was the prosecuting attorney. Mr. Von Karma, you were handling that case?
It was 15 years ago. I don't remember the details.
That was when Edgeworth pointed out the problem in Von Karma's evidence. So there were 3 people, including yourself, trapped in that elevator.
Yes, myself, my father, and Yanni Yogi. We were fine at first, but then as time passed and no one came to help.
Sweet. Love it when that happens. What did you do then?
I was a 9-year-old boy at the time. What could I do? I was scared, trembling in the corner. But then...
Great. That's also great when this happens. What was it? Come on, Phoenix.
a pistol. I assume it was the bailiff Yanni Yogi's. The safety must have come off when it fell from his holster.
And you picked it up. What happened next?
Yeah, that works, you know. Like, if I ever had a gun, I'd obviously throw it at someone to stop them from fighting. Someone else. Did you know it was a pistol when you threw it?
I think I knew. I knew it was dangerous. But the air was getting so thick I panicked.
So you're saying that you threw the pistol at Mr. Yogi?
I was in a daze. A moment later there was a single gunshot and then a scream.
The gun fired once?
Yes. I think after I threw it I lost consciousness. Since then, they've echoed in my head every day. That gunshot and that horrible scream.
The scream. Well, it's always good to be traumatized by someone yelling. To this day.
Yes, I can practically hear it now. I doubt I will ever forget that scream as long as I live.
There it is. One part of that testimony clearly contradicts the evidence. But I don't know what it means. I better find out and quick. Yeah, I know which one it is. No, it's... this one. Let's see. Boom. So there was only one gunshot?
Yes, I'm sure of that. I heard the shot and the scream. Then everything faded. I was unconscious until the rescuers came. I see.
It must have been scary. Look at this photograph. This is a photograph of the scene of the crime 15 years ago. There is a clear contradiction between your testimony and this picture.
I can see that the victim lying there is Gregory Edgeworth. What do you mean, contradiction?
As always, the judge is clueless. Show the judge the contradiction in the photo. This right here. As should be obvious, the contradiction is here.
I see. A bullet hole in the door.
Your Honour, Miles Edgeworth testifies... shouldn't it be testified? Whatever. Testifies that there was only one gunshot. However, according to this photograph, not one, but 2 shots were fired. One hit the victim, the other hit the elevator door. I ask you, then, why did Miles Edgeworth only hear 1 gunshot?
This photograph does seem to confirm a second shot. However, when was the hole in the elevator made? It might have been there before the incident occurred. If it was there before, it has nothing to do with this incident. Mr. Wright, do you have proof that this bullet hole was caused at the time of the incident?
Yeah, I guess. Maybe? Your Honour, I think I will be able to show you proof.
What? Impossible.
No, Mr. Von Karma, save your surprise for after you've seen the evidence. Very well, Mr. Wright, show us your proof. What do you have that proves the bullet hole on the door was related to the incident?
Okay, now I'm doubting that, I'm right. Still bears ballistic markings, yes. No clues found on the scene. 1 bullet found in the heart. The murder weapon was fired twice. I may be completely wrong. Oh no, Your Honour, the answer is in this file.
You do enjoy dragging out that file, don't you? I don't accept this evidence unless you can tell us which page it's on. Which page shows the link between this bullet hole and the DL6 incident?
Look at the victim data in this file. It says it quite plainly. The murder weapon was fired twice. I mean, there's a bit of a problem with saying that, but yeah, okay. Miles Edgeworth only heard one gunshot, yet the murder weapon was fired twice.
Order! Order! Mr. Wright, what are you driving at?
It's simple, Your Honor. At the time of the incident, 2 shots were fired. One went into Gregory Edgeworth's heart. The other hit the elevator door. Remember that the defendant lost consciousness after the shot he fired rang out. In conclusion, we must agree that the second shot was fired by someone else.
Mr. Wright, but who could that someone else be?
The murderer, of course.
I knew I should have stepped in before your wild fantasies got out of hand. Mr. Wright, look once more at the DL6 incident file. Look closely. Try the case summary page.
That no clues found on the scene, but the case summary, it's on page 1.
Look what is written there. Not a single clue was found on the scene. If the pistol had indeed been fired 2 times, then the other bullet would have been discovered on the scene.
He does have a point.
That second bullet has never been found. Why? Because the second bullet does not exist. The bullet that claimed Gregory Edgeworth's life was the one fired by his own son. That is the truth of this matter. The whole truth. It was undoubtedly something else that made that bullet hole in the door.
Oh yes, something else that made a bullet hole. In court? Come on.
Order! I will have order! Mr. Wright has proven one thing to us quite clearly, that the murder weapon was fired twice at the time of the incident. However, as Mr. Von Karma says, the second bullet fired was not found. It is highly unlikely that the police merely overlooked the second bullet. So all we have is this single bullet fired. I'm afraid I have to discount the defense's claim.
I praise the judge for his wisdom in this matter.
How did this happen? I don't believe that the second bullet didn't exist. Was I wrong? Have I been wrong about this whole incident? What are you doing, Nick? Why aren't you raising an objection? I'm sorry, Maya. What? It looks like I was wrong. Nick? If the second bullet wasn't there, then all my conjectures are for nothing. No. But you said you'd do it, Nick. You said you'd get Edgeworth declared innocent. I'm sorry. It's just, when I saw the photograph, I thought that 2 shots had been fired. I was so certain of it, I thought I'd won. I thought there was another person, someone else, who fired the killing shot. And now, I was wrong to think it could be that simple. This case has stood unsolved for 15 years. Nick.
Well, it seems that we have finally cleared up this incident. Only 1 bullet was found at the scene of the crime. That shot was fired by Miles Edgeworth.
Precisely.
I would like to ask one thing of Miles Edgeworth before passing my verdict. Have you been paying attention to the trial so far?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any objections?
No. No, I do not.
So, you killed your father, though that was not your intention?
Yes, I did.
Oh no. He's confessing.
Very well. Wrong voice. Very well. The statute of limitations on the murder of Gregory Edgeworth runs out today. Therefore, I must pronounce a verdict on the defendant today. Right here.
Right now.
Indeed. Does anybody have any objections?
I've been here before. It's just like my first day in court. There are so many things I know I should be saying, but my mind's gone blank. I can't find the words.
Mr. Wright?
I always have an objection. Your Honor. I object.
Mr. Wright, on what grounds do you object?
Nick, I don't know. His case is perfect.
No.
Ah! It must exist. The second bullet. What? What did you just say?
Nothing.
The second bullet must exist? But where? Someone took it.
Seems waiting is not going to produce us any answers from Mr. Wright.
Wait, Your Honor. The second bullet. It exists.
What? But we've just heard proof that it did not exist.
I realize that, Your Honor. I'm really grasping here. It's just someone else took it from the scene of the crime. That's what happened.
But who?
The murderer!
Duh.
The murderer? Then tell us, just who is this murderer?
I'm still thinking about that one.
So the criminal took the second bullet. Why would he? Huh? First of all, how would he have found it? It's not easy to find a stray bullet, Mr. Wright. Was there some pressing need for the murderer to search for that bullet?
Okay, so I know how this goes, but I can't remember what I'm supposed to say here. Sure, the murderer had to find... of course there was a need. That's why he took it.
What possible reason could he have had?
Well, the reason the murderer took the bullet away from the scene with him is... well, the bullet would be proof, I guess. Maybe he thought that the bullet would be used as proof? Proof? It was a special bullet, so he took it with him.
If that was the case, then he would have taken the bullet from inside Gregory as well.
Huh?
Why would he only take one of the two shots fired?
Oh, right.
Mr. Wright, have you really thought this through? We're going to have to penalize you.
God damn it. Ah, this isn't going so well.
There's some pressing need for the murder...
No, the murderer didn't need it. Why would the murderer have spent the time to look for that stray bullet? I haven't got a clue!
What's wrong, Mr. Wright?
The murderer had no reason to take that bullet. You don't want to admit it, but it's true.
Yeah. Had to take it. Had to take it? The murderer? What does that mean? You're thinking too normal. Think crazy. Don't think why the bullet was taken. Think why the bullet had to be taken.
Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor? I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, the murderer had no intention of taking the bullet from the scene. But the murderer had to take that bullet.
Had to, Mr. Wright? What do you mean?
Well, for instance... For instance what? Maybe the bullet, hit the murderer?
The bullet hit the murderer.
Just saying, for instance. I mean, if it hit you, you would have to take it with you, wouldn't you? It's not like you could perform surgery right there. You know? Wait a second. I was just talking off the top of my head, but what if that's really what happened?
Let me get this straight. So at the time of the murderer himself was shot, and he left with the second bullet still inside, thus leaving only one bullet at the scene of the crime?
Yeah, I guess that's how it would work, yes.
But there's a problem with that. The other two people rescued from that elevator, Mars Edgeworth and Yanni Yogi, were both unharmed. So that would mean...
The murderer came from outside, yes. Two men fight inside the elevator. Trying to stop them, the boy picks up the pistol at his feet and throws it. The pistol discharges and the bullet goes through the elevator door and hits the murderer outside. The boy loses consciousness. Then the murderer opens the elevator door and sees the men inside.
Mr. Wright, you are truly the most unpredictable defense attorney I've ever known. You can tell you're grasping, yet I cannot deny the possibility of what you say.
What are you saying? Deny it! Deny it! No one involved in the incident was wounded. There was no murderer.
No one was wounded at the time of the incident. He's right. I can't think of anyone.
Hey, Nick.
Huh?
I just thought of something really crazy.
Crazy? It's just how we like it.
Remember what Mr. Grossberg said yesterday?
Oh, goody.
Whatever it was done to bloat was perfect trial record.
Wow.
It must have been quite a shock for Von Klauber. He took a vacation several months after that, you see. Just an unusual event for a man. That was the first and the last vacation he's taken in his many years of prosecution.
What if Von Karma didn't take that vacation because of shock?
But took it because he was injured.
Which would mean
It could only mean one thing.
he was the murderer in the DL6 incident.
He was the man who shot Gregory Edgeworth.
It was Von Karma.
Oh, man.
Something wrong, Mr. Wright? You seem dazed.
No, Your Honor.
Well, you have indicated the possibility that the murderer came from outside. Can you give us the name of your suspect?
Uh-oh.
Should I come out and say it now?
Say it now. There is no better time, Phoenix. Your Honor. Sorry, Your Honor. There is a suspect. One lone suspect.
Well, this is certainly interesting news. Very well, Mr. Wright. Who is your suspect?
Yeah, my hands are shaking.
What?
Von Karma. Von Karma?
You mean the Von Karma, the prosecutor, sitting right there?
Bah!
You don't object?
I see no need. Why honor this ridiculous outburst with my objection?
Because you took a vacation for several months starting the day of the incident. Yet you pride yourself on a perfect record. Why did you take such a long vacation without any reason?
So you're claiming that
Wrong voice.
So you're claiming that I took a vacation to heal my injury from the incident? Fascinating. Prove it. I would have needed surgery, no? Where did I go under the knife at, Mr. Wright? Bring the doctor that operated on me. Have him testify.
Nick, let's find out whose doctor is.
It's no use. Edgeworth? Spat on the screen again. I'm getting really into it, I'm sorry.
I know Von Karma. Perhaps too well. He's perfect. He wouldn't leave clues. He probably didn't undergo surgery. That would leave a doctor as a witness.
Nobody's that perfect.
So what, Nick? Did Von Karma pull the bullet out by himself? That's insane.
No, he couldn't have. You can't just pull bullets out of yourself. Wait, what does that mean? That bullet has to be somewhere, but where?
Well, Mr. Wright, can you produce evidence to prove that I was shot?
Okay, so again, I know how this works, but I don't know what I'm supposed to say. Sure. Alright, Von Karma, I'll prove it. And I'll even use evidence. I know how you like it so much. What? The evidence that proves Von Karma was shot is... Von Karma is perfect. He wouldn't risk surgery, leaving an evidence trail. So then, I ask, where is that bullet now? I think it unlikely that Von Karma performed surgery on himself.
You don't mean...
I do. There is the possibility that the bullet is still inside Von Karma.
Is that even possible? For all these years?
Well, there's one way to find out. we could use this metal detector. Thanks, Gummy. Well, Von Karma, I'm gonna run this over you and see what we find.
I refuse.
You refuse? But refusing this means... You acknowledge that the bullet is still inside you? Order! Order! Order!
Your Honor, the defense requests that we be allowed to use the metal detector.
Judge, I call for a suspension of this trial. This is an invasion of privacy.
The statute of limitations runs out on this case today. It was you who said we had to end it right here, right now.
Enough! I permit the use of the metal detector. Mr. Von Karma, you will submit yourself to testing.
Nick, what does this mean?
I don't know, but we have to give it a shot.
How you say?
Gotcha! It reacted. Something's inside his right shoulder. The bullet! Mr. Von Karma?
You. It was you. I was afraid this would happen, and so I remained silent. Indeed, there is a bullet in my shoulder. However, it has nothing to do with this incident.
What?
I was shot in the shoulder long before the DL6 incident. I claim that the bullet in my shoulder has no relation to DL6.
Ah, goddammit.
But, Mr. Von Karma, can you prove that?
Prove? I have no obligation to prove anything. It is you who must prove something here, Mr. Wright, not I.
Mr. Wright, well, can you prove it? Can you prove that the bullet in Von Karma's shoulder was from DL6?
Of course he can't. You don't have any of the DL6 evidence.
That's because you took it out of the records room yesterday.
With no proof, you cannot convict me of any crime. So sorry, Mr. Wright.
No, I'm the one who's sorry, Mr. Von Karma.
What?
You were close, 1 day away from freedom. You see, I have proof.
What?
Who would have thought you would have dug your own grave trying to convict Edgeworth? I can link that bullet in your shoulder to the DL6 incident. And here's my final proof. No, we thanked Gummy. We goddamned it, Edgeworth. And now, I thank you, Maya.
That's... a bullet?
Where did you get that?
This is the bullet used in the DL6 incident. This was taken from the heart of the victim, Mr. Gregory Edgeworth. The bullet is preserved quite nicely, with all the ballistic markings intact.
Ballistic markings.
You may recall the term. It came up in the first trial 2 days ago.
Ballistic markings are the fingerprints of a weapon. All bullets fired from a gun are marked with that weapon's unique pattern. By examining the markings, you can tell which weapon fired the bullet. It's quite accurate.
We have 2 bullets in our possession. One bullet, the bullet removed from Gregory Edgeworth's heart. The other, Mr. Von Karma, is the bullet buried in your shoulder. We can analyze both bullets, then if the markings matched, we would know that both bullets had been fired from the same gun, the very same pistol. In other words, the murder weapon that killed Gregory Edgeworth. Mr. Von Karma, you will let us remove the bullet from your shoulder. Then we'll compare the ballistic markings to those on this bullet. And solve this case once and for all. Well, Mr. Von Karma?
That scream. I've heard that scream before. Wait, I know.
Help, I can't breathe!
Quiet, I said quiet. You're not making this any easier.
Stop breathing my air! I'll stop you! Stop breathing my air! Get away! I forgot the child Edward voice. Get away from my father!
It's that scream I heard in the elevator 15 years ago. Von Karma, it was you who screamed.
I'll say it once again.
Gotcha!
Mr. Von Karma? Edgeworth! Edgeworth! You would dare defy me? So, it was you. You and your father are my curse. Your father shamed me with a penalty on my record. You left a scar on my shoulder that would never fade. I'd bury you with my bare hands. Death, death.
15 years earlier.
Mr. Chief Prosecutor, I'm sorry.
Well, Karma, it's not like you to make this kind of error. I never would have thought that Edgeworth would be the one to catch you.
I was careless.
I'm sorry, but you will have to be penalized. I've covered for you in the past, but not this time.
Edgeworth! It was a shock like none I had ever known. Me, penalized? Took hours for me to regain my composure. Suddenly I found myself in the darkness. I was in the court records room. I must have wandered in there without thinking where I was going. The room was pitch black. The lights must have gone out. I went out in the hall and felt my way to the elevator. I pressed the button and nothing happened. Then there was a noise. I was in pain, a horrible burning pain in my shoulder. Just then the lights came back on. The elevator door opened before my eyes. I saw 3 people inside, all lying unconscious from oxygen deprivation. Much to my surprise, a pistol lay at my feet. I knew then it was destiny. In his last moments, Gregory Edgeworth was still unconscious. He died, never knowing who shot him. Later, he spoke through a medium blaming Mr. Yogi. He was fooled. It was the perfect crime. Who would have thought another man would have come to open that elevator door? Judge!
What?
What are you doing? Do your job. Bring an end to this miserable charade. Now, end it.
Very well. It appears we have come a very long way to the end of this maze. 15 years later. Mr. Miles Edgeworth?
Yes, Your Honor.
You were innocent. You are innocent. As you said, it was all a nightmare.
Yes,
Your Honor. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Miles Edgeworth, not guilty! That is all. Court is adjourned.